Welcome back. So in the last video we saw two different ways of plotting from a Pandas data frame. One with the pie plot method, and we created this plot here. And then the other with the object-oriented method. I'll be honest with you, this is not directly the OO method. We've kind of passed it off here, but we're still kind of using the pie plot method here, but we've tricked it a little in combining it with the OO method. So what we're going to do is recreate this, but using the object-oriented method from scratch, and then we're going to customize it to make it look a bit more prettier. Let's start. We'll create a new figure and a new axis. We'll put in here OO method from scratch. And up here we might go OO method mixed with pie plot method. So then we'll go plot.subplots, and we know our fig size. This is a pretty good size, so we're gonna reuse that. 10, 6. That was correct. Yep. And then we want to do plot the data, because that's part of our Matplotlib workflow. We'll call our figure, we'll rename it to scatter. We'll go scatter equals ax.scatter, because we want a scatter plot, and we're going to go x, which is our age column. So we want over 50, because remember we're working with our over 50 data frame now. Age, and then our y column is going to be over 50, and we're going to have chol or col for cholesterol. And then we want to color it with over 50, which is the C here. We want to color it with the target column. And what I mean by color it is just literally change the color of a dot depending on what the target column value is. And now let's see what this looks like. Okay, groovy. We're starting to get a few different colors here. It's looking similar, but it's still missing a few things. Like we don't know what the x-axis is and we don't know what the y-axis is, but that's okay. We've got a very flexible method here because we're using the object-oriented method from scratch. So now what we're going to do is customize, and we're going to go ax.set. We want to add in a title. Beautiful. So we got heart disease and cholesterol levels. That's all right. Keep it nice and concise. Then we want X label equals age. And we'll add a Y label, which is cholesterol. Now you could put the units here. I'm not actually sure what the units are of cholesterol. That would be something we'd have to look up. So we'll just keep that as just cholesterol. Nice and simple for the time being. And let's see what this looks like. Starting to get better. All right. So we've got a title now. We know what the y-axis is and we know what the x-axis is, but we're not sure what these dots are, right? These are just purple and yellow dots. Or what color is that to you? That's a purplish to me. So maybe oops. See, that's what happens when you run it without the semicolon. You get this code output. So maybe we add a legend. So how can we do that? We go ax, we call the legend method, legend. And then we're going to use this little star, which is kind of like just unpack all the values of title equals target. Let's add a legend to our axes, which is this here. And this little star is saying, hey, grab the values from scatter and unpack the legend elements, which is going to query this C parameter here and look back up at this data frame and go, what values are in this, in the target column? So we got ones and zeros. And then it's going to create the legend built off those elements. So let's see it in action. Path collection has no attribute legend elements. Oh, there we go. Typo. Beautiful. So if you type it right, that's what it's going to do. It just goes into the scatter variable, which is what we've created up here. And then it's going to find the legend elements, which it gets from this C parameter, which it then looks back up into our, we'll put it here so we can see, over 50 target dot values. It's going to look at this target column and then find that there's ones and zeros. And then it's going to color the legend the same as the values on here. So now this is looking a bit better. The object-oriented method from scratch is looking far better than what we've built here. This is how we've done a few more lines of code here, but now you're starting to see how customizable this object-oriented API is. What if we wanted to add a few more things? Well, the beautiful thing is we can do that. What if we wanted something like a horizontal line across here to indicate the average cholesterol? Let's look up the documentation. How to add a horizontal line in Matplotlib plot. Matplotlib.axis.axHline. Okay. What will this do? Add a horizontal line across the axis. Well, I guess that's what we want to do. So let's try it out. We want to go maybe back up in here. Add a horizontal line. So this is the kind of workflow you'll go through. Like if you wanted to do something, that's perfectly fine. You look it up, you go to the documentation, and now we're going to try this out. Axes.axHline. Let's see what happens. Ax, because this is our axes, .axHline. Wonderful. And now we want to give it the value. So we want over 50. So if we go Shift Tab and see what it takes, Y. So we need a Y axis. So we want to give it the same Y here. So we want the cholesterol column. Yeah, beautiful. And now we want the line to be the mean of that column. Beautiful. Now we've got a straight line, but maybe we wanted a dashed line because that looks a bit better. We got line style. So this is another one of those keyword arguments. So this one here, keyword args. That's not really going to appear in the doc string. Maybe if we scrolled right down, there we go, line style. So you could also just look up how to style a Matplotlib line. Line style reference. You come across something like this, but in our case, to save a little time, I've used this dash line before, and that usually looks pretty good. So there we go. We've added a horizontal line. Now, that's starting to look much, much better than what we had before. Don't you agree? Well, I certainly do, but I'm kind of biased because I created this plot. Now, this is just another example, right, of using a different data set, of creating your own custom plot, and then working with different kinds of data. So we've got cholesterol, and then really starting to use the Matplotlib API to create whatever kind of plot you want. Now, you could imagine you could create a subplot of this. We might actually do that in the next video, is create this, but we'll work it in with a subplot. So we might add another variable from the data frame and put it into a subplot of this. So let's see that in action. But in the meantime, have a little bit of a play around. Maybe you can take a step ahead and see if you can create a subplot of heart disease and cholesterol levels with maybe heart disease and what's another column that you could use? And this one, Thel-Ach, which is max heart rate. See what you can do creating a subplot with cholesterol and max heart rate. If you want me to go along with you, we'll do that in the next video.